On my wedding day, as my husband, Julian, was driving me to the hotel, we came across a young woman who was about to jump into the river. She was wearing a white dress and sat precariously on the riverbank railing. With just one look, Julian immediately ordered the wedding car to stop. Stop the car. He was a renowned psychological negotiator, having saved many lives with his words. But today, I wouldn't let him. I grabbed his arm. Today is our wedding day. You're not going. He smiled at me gently. Honey, don't be like this. A human life is at stake. I can't just stand by and do nothing. As he spoke, he was already getting out of the car. My face was cold as I said, word for word, Julian, if you insist on saving her today, then we're canceling the wedding. He looked at me in disbelief. Chloe, do you know what you're saying? You're usually so kind. How can you say something so cruel? I glanced at the woman on the railing, her belly slightly swollen, and my voice was firm. Save her or continue the wedding. You can only choose one. After the wedding car stopped, the other cars in the procession also stopped. Relatives and friends got out to see what was happening. What's wrong? Why did we stop? Julian's face darkened. That woman on the railing. I think she's going to jump. I want to go and save her. But Chloe won't let me. She's even threatening to cancel the wedding. At his words, everyone followed his gaze. The woman noticed the commotion and turned to look at us. Her eyes were red, and she instinctively put a hand on her belly. My bridesmaid tried to mediate. Julian, you should probably just continue with the wedding. Let someone else save her. My childhood friend frowned and took out her phone. Why make it so complicated? Just call the police. With that, she started dialing 110 and walked toward the railing. But she had only taken 2 steps when the woman in white stood up agitatedly. Don't call the police. And don't come any closer. If you take another step, I'll jump. The wind by the river was already strong, and the woman's dress was flapping wildly even when she was sitting. Now that she was standing, her thin body was trembling in the wind. Seeing this, Julian, who had been standing in front of me, his face changed instantly. He gave me a helpless look and strode forward. He grabbed my friend's arm, his voice cold and serious. Don't go any further. You'll agitate her. I got out of the car, holding my wedding dress, and walked up to him, blocking his way. Julian, you've made your decision. You're going to save her today, aren't you? He looked down at me, a hint of impatience in his voice, but he still took my hand and said in a low voice, Honey, please try to understand. I'm a psychological negotiator. How can I just stand by and do nothing when I see a situation like this? Besides, is our wedding more important than a human life? As he said this, he turned to look at the woman in white again. After he had spoken, the relatives and friends also started to chime in. Chloe, Julian has a point. Saving someone won't take that long. That's right, child. Saving a life is a great deed. Just let him go and talk to her. She looks pregnant. She must be going through something difficult. As they were talking, I kept my eyes on him. When they were done, I pursed my red lips. Julian, answer my question. His face darkened, as if he were struggling. After a moment, he let go of my hand and walked past me. He stood a few steps in front of me and softened his expression, looking at the woman gently. We won't come any closer. Just calm down. Don't get agitated. The woman stared at him. When he had finished speaking, tears streamed down her face. Don't any of you come near me. Don't. Although she was saying the same thing, her voice was much softer now. Her choked sobs filled with grievance. His hand, by his side, clenched into a fist, and his expression changed. He held out his hand and coaxed her. Okay, we won't come any closer. Just calm down. Calm down. The woman's agitated expression really did soften, but her tears fell even harder. Seeing this, I took out my phone from my bag. Hello, Mom. Are you at the hotel yet? Good. Now, please inform all the guests that the wedding is canceled. As I said this, a collective gasp went through the crowd. Before I had made that call, perhaps everyone had thought that my threat to cancel the wedding was just a momentary outburst. So when I actually did it, they were all shocked. Julian, who had been comforting the woman in white, froze and whipped his head around to look at me. Chloe. I held my wedding dress with one hand and my phone with the other, my face cold as I looked at him. What? His Adam's apple bobbed. Do you have to be so unreasonable? I took a step back. If you think this is unreasonable, then so be it. In any case, I've already told my parents to cancel the wedding. Facing his grim expression, I just smiled. Now you're free, Julian. You can do whatever you want. Just then, the woman on the railing suddenly wiped away her tears. Her face was pale, and her voice was hoarse and choked. I'm sorry. It's all because of me. Because of me that you're fighting. She looked at me, her eyes pleading. Sister, please don't fight with your husband. You should go. Go and have your wedding. They say it's better to build 10 temples than to ruin one marriage. If I really ruined your wedding, then my sin would be too great. As she said this, her tears fell like broken pearls. She lowered her head, her eyes red, and gently caressed her swollen belly. Anyway, my life is worthless. No one has ever cared about me. Hearing this, Julian's brow furrowed. He carefully took another step toward the railing. Don't say that. There must be someone in this world who loves you. Don't be so hard on yourself. He looked at the woman, his voice growing more and more gentle. You can't be so pessimistic. You can't just give up your life so easily. The other passersby also started to chime in. That's right. Young lady, you're still so young. Don't do anything rash. At the same time, the relatives were whispering amongst themselves. I don't know who to side with. They both have a point. Although a wedding is a once-in-a-lifetime event, I still think Julian is more in the right. I agree. Chloe is being too willful. Julian let out a heavy sigh. Everyone, please just be quiet. He pursed his lips and looked at me again. Chloe, you're not usually like this. What's wrong today? This young woman is clearly going through something. Are we really just going to stand by and watch her jump? I stared at him. Julian, you know very well why I'm like this, don't you? Before he could speak, his best man and good friend, Adrian, stepped forward. Chloe, I was in the front seat of the wedding car. I saw everything clearly. You've been the one making a scene from the very beginning. Julian just wants to save someone. He's a kind person. What has he done wrong? I looked at the silent Julian and sneered. That's right. He's kind. He's a good person. He's a hero. I'm petty. I'm vicious. We're not the same kind of people. So I'm canceling the wedding so he can be a good person without any reservations. What's wrong with that? I looked at the woman in white and smirked. Besides, if this woman really wanted to die, she wouldn't have been on that railing for so long. Don't you think she looks so fake? So dramatic. Hearing my words, the last bit of color drained from the woman's face. She bit her lower lip and sobbed. Fine. Fine. I'll just go and die. I'll just die. After giving Julian one last, deep look, she turned without hesitation. She clenched her fists, about to jump into the cold river. Don't jump. Julian's eyes were wide with terror as he shouted those two words. The moment she turned, he rushed toward the railing, trying to grab her hand. But even though he was fast, he was still too late. The woman fell heavily into the river, struggling painfully in the water. Without a moment's hesitation, he took off his suit jacket and jumped in after her. I stood there, watching the scene with a detached expression. I felt nothing, as if the man who had just jumped in was not the groom I was about to marry. If anyone had shown me any understanding before, now, because of my last words, I had become the public enemy. In an instant, the onlookers were ready to point their fingers at me and call me a vicious woman. Some even held up their phones, recording my face. One even started a live stream. Come to the river and see. I've never seen such a venomous woman. She's so beautiful, but she's a cold and selfish shrew. Let me tell you what happened. A young lady was about to commit suicide, and her husband wanted to save her. But this woman wouldn't let him. She even deliberately provoked her, causing the young lady to jump into the river. She's practically a murderer. After she said that, the others chimed in. That's right. She's a murderer. She even threatened to cancel the wedding. I don't think she deserves such a kind man. If the groom really married such a vicious woman, he wouldn't be happy, no matter what they said. I showed no reaction. The river was cold this time of year, but Julian was a good swimmer. He quickly pulled the woman from the water. But when they got ashore, they were both soaking wet and a mess. The woman's white dress was see-through after being in the water. He immediately and thoughtfully put his jacket over her. Put this on. I'll take you to the hospital. He didn't even look at me. He put his arm around the woman and was about to get into the wedding car. I, who had been silent all this time, took a step forward and blocked them. Wait. He, who had been restraining his temper no matter what I had said before, seemed to have finally snapped. He looked at me with a dark expression. Chloe, you've already provoked her into jumping. What else do you want? He almost roared the last half of the sentence. In the year and a half we had been dating, he had never been so out of control with his emotions in front of me. I glanced at the woman he was protecting. Don't worry. This time, I'm not trying to stop you from being a hero. If you want to take her to the hospital, you can. But you have to come with me to the hotel first. His jaw was tight. Chloe, you're going too far. The onlookers' curses grew even more intense. I've seen it all now. This woman must have been raised by wolves. I glanced at them and pointed to the wedding videographer behind me. Everything you're saying and doing right now is being recorded. If you want to be sued, keep filming and keep cursing. The crowd instantly fell silent. I looked at him again. The wedding is cancelled. So you have to come with me to the hotel and settle the matter of the broken engagement. This time, even my friends looked at me, confused. Chloe, don't anyone try to persuade me. This is non-negotiable. In the end, he went with me to the hotel. Perhaps because they didn't know the situation. My parents hadn't told anyone the wedding was cancelled. The banquet hall was still full of guests. I walked directly onto the stage, holding my wedding dress, and took the microphone. Since everyone is still here, I'll be direct. My wedding to Julian is cancelled. And now, I ask you all to be witnesses as we go through the process of breaking the engagement right here. The betrothal gifts, the dowry, and the gifts from our parents will all be returned. The large banquet hall fell silent. Both our parents looked at me. Chloe, what is going on? A relative embellished the story of what had just happened. And the number of people condemning me grew. And I hadn't even noticed that the people who had been live streaming had followed me. The girl holding the phone said indignantly, "She's even threatening me. I'm going to make her a pariah today." I pretended not to hear and started writing a list of all the money and items involved. Julian, come and look. If there are no problems, sign it. And we'll return everything on the spot. The woman in white was still cowering by his side, sobbing. I'm sorry. It's all my fault that you, my mother-in-law, who had been trying to calm me down, heard this and turned to look. When she saw the woman, her breathing hitched. She grabbed his arm and slapped him hard. You unfilial son. What are you doing on your wedding day? With that, she came to take my hand. Chloe, you don't. I silently handed the list to him. Hurry up. He seemed to finally realize that I was serious about not marrying him. He looked up at me. Chloe, seeing him dawdle, I opened an app on my phone and showed him a post. Julian, I'm running out of patience. And I'm not a fool. Either you explain things to everyone, or I'll explain for you. When he saw the contents of my phone screen, his face changed, and his lips started to tremble. A relative who was close and had good eyesight saw the contents of my phone, and their expression also changed. His breathing hitched for a moment, and he looked up at me. Chloe, do you have to do this? We've been together for so long. We've always gotten along well, haven't we? I clutched my phone, my heart already sunk in ice. Yes, I have to. Things have gone this far. Julian, you don't actually think there's any room for turning back, do you? He looked at me, then slowly took the list from my hand. But he just stared at it, silent. Just then, the onlookers who had followed were still stirring up trouble on their live stream. Look, this venomous woman is still forcing the groom to break the engagement. I say, after today, she'll never be able to get married. I completely agree. After today, the whole country will know how vicious she is. Who would dare to marry her? My mom was standing behind me. Hearing this, she tugged on my sleeve. My dear daughter, you haven't told me why you're canceling the wedding. I'll say it again. No matter what you decide, your father and I will support you. But you have to tell us the reason. I gently patted her hand to reassure her. Don't worry, Mom. Just wait. You'll know soon enough. As I was talking to my mom, my mother-in-law had already rolled up her sleeves and rushed forward. She yanked the woman in white away from him. After slapping her a few times, she started punching and kicking her. Amelia, you bitch. Why won't you just leave us alone? Did my family owe you and your mother in a past life? Are you too determined to cling to my family and ruin our peace? The woman, whose name was Amelia, was so stunned by the slaps that she couldn't even stand. But she didn't say a word, just covered her face and sobbed. At this point, even the most clueless person would have realized something was wrong. In an instant, everyone who had been pointing fingers at me fell silent. Even the two girls who were live streaming were stunned. What? What's going on? There's drama. Definitely big drama. The girl held up her phone and got a little closer. He, forgetting about me, immediately rushed to protect her. He stood in front of her and looked at his mother. Mom, calm down. She was so angry her face was red. Calm down. You want me to calm down? What did I tell you before? You promised me you would break up with this little bitch. You promised. And what happened? You brought her to the wedding. What were you thinking? Are you trying to kill me? He had a dark expression. Mom, it's not what you think. He let out a heavy sigh. He seemed not to know what to say. He opened his mouth, but only the word I came out. I couldn't help but smile. Julian, if you can't find an excuse, don't bother. I don't want to get involved in your family's affairs. I only have one request. Let's get this over with while our relatives and friends are here. And then we can go our separate ways. His mother still wanted to salvage the situation. Chloe, give him another chance. I only recognize you as my daughter-in-law. I looked at her with some pity. You are a good person, but your son and I are not fated to be husband and wife. Seeing that we were just talking in riddles, someone started to mutter. What is going on? It looks like he already knew this woman. Is she his ex-girlfriend? And his family doesn't approve. I don't think it's that simple. Seeing that he still wasn't talking, I held up my phone. Since everyone wants to know, it'll clear things up. Chloe, shut up. Seeing me hold up my phone, he panicked and reached for it. I stepped back, clutching my phone. Julian, I told you my patience is limited. You're the one who keeps hesitating, so you can't blame me. Now that both our parents and so many relatives and friends are here, we have to give them an explanation, don't you think? His face was ashen, and for a moment, he was speechless. Just then, the uninformed relatives started to get impatient. Chloe, tell us what's going on. According to Julian's friend, you want to break the engagement just because he saved this young woman on the way to the wedding. I lit up my phone screen. If you want to put it that way, there's nothing wrong with it. But it's not that simple. I just sent a post to our wedding group chat. Everyone in the group can forward it. He still wanted to stop me, but I gave him a cold look. There may be some friends who can't see it, so I'll read it to you. I opened the post. Seeing the sickening content, I looked at her again. Miss, are you sure that even now, you don't want to introduce yourself? She still had that pitiful look, her eyes red as she hid behind him. Just then, my friend, holding her phone, read the post out loud. I have fallen in love with someone I shouldn't have. My boyfriend is the son of my mother's boyfriend, but his parents are not divorced. And my mother. I know we are not destined to be together, but we are so in love. His mother found out about us and threatened to kill herself to make him break up with me, and even forced him to be with someone else. We didn't want to compromise, but we really had no choice. I know that, like me, he can't let go of our relationship, but he still, under his mother's pressure, got together with someone else. Seeing him with someone else, being good to someone else, it's like a knife in my heart. But at least he still loves me. But today, they're getting married. I can't accept it. I really can't. I did nothing wrong. Why can't I be with the person I love? I can't just stand by and watch him marry someone else. I can't accept him marrying someone else. Julian, please. If you still love me, please stop for me. After my friend finished reading, the crowd fell silent. So, this post was written by the woman who jumped into the river. She is the daughter of Julian's father's mistress. This is so messy. Her mom is having an affair with his dad, and he's dating her daughter. And his mom found out. I suddenly feel sorry for his mother. Her husband cheated, and her son fell in love with the mistress daughter. This woman is just like her mother. So scheming. To deliberately wait on the wedding procession route to ruin someone's wedding. That's right. From the post, it's clear she did it on purpose. His face, which was already grim, was now so dark it could have dripped water. He turned and roared. Have you said enough? Can you all just shut up? The crowd instantly quieted down. He looked at me again. Are you satisfied now that things have come to this? Slap. As soon as he said that, he was slapped so hard his head turned to the side. I had put all my strength into that slap. My palm was even a little numb. Julian, have I been too good to you? What? You're playing around with someone else. And you're still in the right. In this whole affair, I'm the victim. Right. If anyone should be questioning anyone, it should be me. I'm just seeking justice for myself. What's wrong with that? He turned back, opened his mouth to speak. But the woman behind him, her eyes red, walked to his side. Sister, I'm sorry. Please don't hit him. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to ruin your wedding. I just posted that to vent my sadness. I really didn't mean it. Things are not what you think. I was sitting by the river just to calm down. With that, she started crying again. But this time, few people felt sorry for her. Everyone was pointing at her and him. This woman is so scheming. How dare she say she didn't mean it? From the looks of it, she must have learned it from her mistress mother. The two girls who were live streaming were also whispering in a corner. Wow, this is some major drama. So we were wrong to curse her out before. Yes, we were cursing the bride. But it turns out she was playing the long game. Hearing the murmurs around her, a flicker of hatred crossed her eyes. She wiped away another tear and reached for my hand. Sister, I'm so sorry. I apologize to you. Please, don't let this escalate. I don't want to affect his future. It's all my fault. I'll kneel to you. I only ask that you let me keep his child, to have something to remember him by. With that, she covered her belly and was about to kneel. He grabbed her and pulled her into his arms. Don't kneel. She is a vicious and narrow-minded person. You don't need to apologize to her. He held her with one hand, his other hand clenched into a fist. He glared at me. Chloe, since you're being so ruthless, don't blame me for being unjust. You're the one who's canceling the wedding, and you're the one who's breaking the engagement. So you should be responsible for all the losses. And if you want me to cooperate with you, you have to apologize to her. She's a pregnant woman, and you've bullied her like this. You have to compensate her for her emotional distress. I took a step back. You want me to apologize to her? Julian, it seems you're determined to have this woman, aren't you? He held her tighter. Yes. At that moment, he seemed to only be thinking about showing his protection for a woman as a man. He seemed to have completely forgotten that both our family's relatives and friends were there. I raised my hand and clapped loudly. Good. Julian, you are really something else. His mother, who had been whispering with his father, heard this and suddenly turned her head. This woman, who had always been so poised and gentle in front of me, now looked as if she had been dealt a huge blow. Her lips trembled, and she looked at the son she had cherished for over 20 years, and suddenly burst into tears. Julian, you're really going to choose this woman. Her mother ruined my family, and now you want to be with her. Hearing his mother's voice, his reason seemed to return. Mom, you. His mother gave a sad smile, suddenly walked over, picked up a wine bottle from a table, smashed it, and held a shard of glass to her heart. Today, you choose, me or this woman. If you insist on being with this woman, then I will die here today. He looked at her in his arms, then at his mother, and was silent for a long time. She suddenly pushed him away. Julian, you should go. Your mother is not the first time she has used professional means to force you to compromise. I don't want to see you in a difficult position. I'm a mother now too. I understand her. I'll just leave on my own. With that, she turned to leave, crying. Almost everyone could see through her manipulative words, but he didn't. He took 3 steps and caught up to her. Amelia, I'll take you away. He took her hand and looked back at his mother. Mom, at a time like this, don't add to the chaos. You're too emotional right now. I'll talk to you later. With that, he looked at me. As for you, Chloe, we're not done yet. I'll say it again. When you apologize to her, that's when we'll deal with the broken engagement. At that moment, he didn't know that from that day on, his life would be turned upside down. Less than a minute after he irresponsibly left the wedding with her, his mother, heartbroken, plunged the glass shard into her heart. Why? I've lived my whole life. My husband betrayed me, and even my son is unfilial. The wedding was thrown into chaos. I called an ambulance and went with his father to the hospital. I had my parents send the guests away. By the time everything was settled, our wedding had already become a trending topic online. Every major social media platform was filled with videos of our wedding and snippets of the live stream from that young woman. My face was blurred out, but his and her faces were magnified several times. Scheming mistress fakes suicide to stop groom and ruin wedding. Bride stops groom from doing a good deed because she recognized the jumper as the mistress. The titles were more and more sensational. When I clicked on them, the most popular video already had over 1 million likes. Judging by the number of comments, the netizen spit could have drowned them. But he was the one who was getting the most hate. Wow. This guy is a scumbag and disgusting. The ultimate scumbag. He's a scumbag. And he's also so cruel to his own mother. That's his father's mistress daughter. Are there no other women in the world? He has to be with her. Like mother. Like daughter. The mistress daughter is also a mistress. TSK. A perfect match. There were hundreds of thousands of such comments. Even some of the friends who were there that day were commenting. In this internet age, everyone loves a good drama. The story kept fermenting, and the video's popularity kept growing. 3 days later, all of his and her information had been dug up. One day, as I was sitting at home doing my accounts, there was a knock on the door. I opened it. It was him. But compared to when he had left the wedding 3 days ago, he was a mess. He was still wearing the same suit, the white shirt underneath now dirty. His eyes were bloodshot, with dark circles underneath, and a stubble had appeared on his chin. Seeing me, he was no longer as angry and confident as he had been 3 days ago. His hands, by his sides, were clenched into fists. He was silent for a long time. What do you want? Say it. He pursed his lips and finally said, Chloe, these past few days, you must have seen the videos online. Now, all of our personal information has been exposed. Wherever we go, people point at us. Chloe, I know I was wrong. I know I was wrong now. His voice was hoarse, and his face grew more haggard with every word. Just as he was about to speak again, I cut him off. Julian, do you know your mother is still in the hospital? Do you know that your irresponsible father and that mistress mother of hers disappeared after the wedding? Do you know that your father's company is in trouble and has already declared bankruptcy? He looked up sharply. What did you say? I leaned against the doorframe. You should go and see your mother first. With that, I closed the door. The next time I saw him was a week later. He called and asked to meet me and my parents, saying he wanted to apologize. As soon as I entered the private room at the restaurant, he dropped to his knees. Chloe, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I was wrong. I was blinded. It's all my fault. I'm not asking for your forgiveness. I just hope you can give me another chance. I stood there, confused. Julian, what are you doing? He knelt on the floor, looking up at me. A few days ago, I was at the hospital taking care of my mom. I came home late and overheard Amelia on the phone with her mother. Only then did I know that this was all a plan hatched by her, her mother, and my father. My father's company has been in trouble for a long time. He transferred most of his assets to her mother's name. My mom would sometimes go to the company. My dad was afraid she would find out, so he deliberately orchestrated this whole thing to agitate her. But as soon as my dad disappeared, the company's problems exploded. Amelia knew that we were now pariahs, so she wanted to leave me as soon as possible. But I happened to overhear her on the phone with her mother, and even the child in her belly. It's not even mine. As he said this, he gave a self-deprecating, bitter smile. I was so stupid. I believed her completely. And for her, I even stabbed my own mother in the heart. Just like my father. I'm not a man. I'm a beast. Seeing his pathetic state, my mom reached out to help him up, but I stopped her. So, what do you want from me today? You want me to give you another chance? Julian, I'm not a garbage dump. I give you so many chances. You probably don't know, do you? Why I still went through with the wedding even after I saw that post. Because that post was sent to me by an anonymous account after I got into the wedding car. That person was her. She even sent me a text, taunting me, saying you would definitely choose her. And then, there was the scene of her pretending to jump into the river, and you being willing to cancel the wedding to save her. Julian, I think you're despicable, but even more pitiful, because you can't even tell who truly loves you and is good to you. Of course, I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about your mother. I just think she's had a hard life. His face was pale. He nodded. I know. I understand everything now. I will handle the family matters. As for my mother, I will take good care of her from now on. With that, he reached for my leg. Chloe, I'm sorry. I really know I was wrong now. I regret it. Please, give me another chance. I have feelings for you. I love you. I took a step back to avoid his touch. No, Julian. A person like you. I can't even stand to look at you. Of course. I wouldn't give him another chance. I wouldn't get entangled with him again. With my parents' help, we settled all the financial matters related to the broken engagement. From then on, we had nothing to do with each other. For a long time after that, I heard nothing of him. Until 3 months later, I saw a news report. A man and 2 women had been stabbed to death in an apartment. The murderer was caught on the spot. It was a once-renowned psychological negotiator. To get his revenge, he had found his father and Amelia and her mother, and had killed them with his own hands. But he had also ruined his own life. But none of that had anything to do with me. Ending a wrong relationship in a timely manner was a good thing for me. From now on, I would have a new world.